Yes, 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 yes. We're live. We're
All right, let's take a
live.
look.
Oh my god, man! I'm about to put out the presentation. Hold
I'm about to crash out.
on. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Shit is long, man. Shit is long, cause.
Okay,
Mhm.
okay.
Yes, 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 yes. Um. Yeah.
All right.
Hold on a second.
We are now live. Let's post that. Might need to post the URL. Um,
Don't know why it's doing that, but I need to figure that out. Hold on.
Me to do it, Kanji.
I'll post the link in the group chat just for the squad so they can.
Don't know why it's doing that, but can you guys hear this?
Mhm,
All right. Okay. Cool. All right. Yeah. Cool. 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 Cool.
mhm. Let's cook, bruh.
Really should be doing that exactly.
Okay.
1 second, Kanji, 1 second. Don't know why it's doing
Perfect.
this. We're still on this page here. This keeps going on the other page. I don't know why. Okay, cool. I think it should be alright though. Alright. They can all see your team anyways. Alright, cool.
100%, bro. I just want to make sure that people know because like
Just
Newman
make sure the
and
audio and
Benji
everything is
were
working,
talking.
yeah? Please. Guys, can
It
you
is,
guys
it
just
is,
make
it
sure the
is.
audio and everything's working, yeah? Alright,
It's
cool.
working, it's working. I already checked it, bro. No stress.
Alright, cool.
Sir Baba Banks. Damn. This guy was definitely waiting, bro. Thank you so much for your patience, bro.
Smash that like button, boys. Share it. Spread the word. We're ready to cook, lads. Ready to cook.
Stark, are you ready as well?
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the FPL Roundtable podcast. This is episode 25 of the 24-25 season. I'm your host, Kanji FPL, and I'm joined by my co-hosts, FPL Kayman and FPL Stark. How you guys doing, boys?
Good. I'm good.
I'm also doing well, thank you, Kanji. How about
Amazing.
yourself?
I actually amazing. I bought like a new pair of AirPods because the old ones were just one of the AirPods just stopped working. So I bought a new pair. Stark has the new headset. We're upgrading one podcast at a time, right?
Absolutely, man. Quality is improving, guys. Thanks for bearing with us, and apologies for any audio issues in the past episodes. We are trying to improve every episode. So yeah,
Yeah, 100%. We always listen to the feedback from the viewers, from our friends. So just like if you ever have any comments or any feedback, just drop it in the chat. We read everything. So yeah, how did you guys do in game week 36? Was it a good week or a mediocre one?
um, well, I was on free hit. Had a bit of a stinker, to be honest. I've got a red arrow on a free hit, so which we'll get into in the next slide. In terms of FPO, it could have been worse, but it's alright. I'm still blessed to be where I am. So uh,
But
not where.
how did you get a
Yeah,
red arrow? Because like nobody had Holland versus Southampton. Nobody had Kevin De Bruyne. Oh, and City didn't score any goals versus Southampton. What the hell?
very funny, Kanji. Very funny. Yeah,
Drink the tears. Drink Kayman's tears.
yeah, man.
I'm
Listen,
drinking your tears too, bro. What do you mean? You guys got 0 goals on your differentials from free hits.
Bro. Kayman's sitting in the top 1K, bro. You can't drink tears from him.
I know,
That's
but
the
it's just
reality.
funny. Like we built this whole like. There's just been so much variance, bro. Like you think if you're gonna free hit, you have Holland, Cap versus Southampton, you're probably gonna get a hat trick. I mean, that's what my expectation would be. To get nothing is just horrible. It just shows you how much luck there is in FPL. I mean, look at those people in game like 34 that free hit. Every single player they picked returned. Every single defender, every single goalie, every single attacker. It's crazy, bro. Like that 34 week was nuts. And then I look at you guys in 36 free hit. You guys got shafted, bro.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, yeah.
Cool. Sorry. Bro, you just got to move on. That's FPL. That's the game we love. That's the game we hate. That's why it's a game we all play. Ups and downs.
I just want to give a disclaimer. I wouldn't be talking the loudest this episode because I have been humbled and I have been defeated by the free hit 34ers and free hit 33s. Shout out to Thinking Cap FPO, aka sometimes who forgets to put his cap on, or he sometimes leaves it somewhere behind. I have to find it, but ultimately he did find his cap back, and he did get me last week as I captain Haaland, and he's laughing at my failure right now because my free hit did flop compared to his. So kudos to you for your strategy for free hitting in 33. Who could have thought that Ben Krillin would be absolute douchebag and would have been able to predict or was telling us actually there will be doubles in game week 36, but we always knew there was a small chance and percentage that it wouldn't happen. But it's a risk that we took.
Yeah.
But one thing I'd say, those planners are in the mud. Planet FPO, Brent Krillin, these guys don't know. Whatever they say, it's not the gospel. That's one thing I've learned, and they've been proven wrong multiple occasions this season. And it's quite
Yeah.
embarrassing actually. They've built a. I mean, look, I know they don't guarantee when they say these things, but they were giving quite a high possibility and chances for those things to happen. But ultimately, uh, yeah, they're on fraud watch, in my opinion. So,
Mhm. Yeah. I understand what you're saying. I kind of agree with that. Oh, by the way, Newman's in the chat. He's saying the sound is low. Can we adjust that somehow or
yeah,
no?
I think I can. Yes, yes. Is that better? Can you ask him? Speak.
Yeah, hopefully it is, bro. Newman, let us know in the chat, please. But yeah, those planners like Ben Crellin and James, they were always a little weary about a game like 36 double, and I think we're setting the precedent for future seasons. Like game week 36 may not have a double game week. Like this used to be the biggest double game week, or one of the biggest, but now gotta get used to the new norm. The Premier League is just changing the way that they reschedule fixtures, right?
Um, Someone asked, so you bringing in Palmer in? It's one of my boy. Who is bringing Palmer? Anyone bringing in Palmer?
I've already got him, mate.
Well,
I can't bring in
yeah, so
someone I've already got.
yeah, right. Flex on him, Starkey boy. All right, why don't we just review game week 36? So for you guys, you have free hit. We'll get to that. Actually, do you guys want to start with your review? And we already mentioned yours,
Yeah, I
so
mean, you can go through your parade first because you already started anyway. So we'll let you finish your parade on our downfall.
yeah,
So please finish it off for us.
yeah.
You've had a
Yeah,
very fantastic score this week, haven't you? So
I mean, realistically, this was like a very whatever week. I have my Nottingham Forest defenders that let me down against Leicester, conceding twice somehow. I mean, I took a hit for them in game week 29. For anybody that's like followed my journey, I took a hit for them in game week 34. I free hit in 29, but I was trying to target Nottingham Forest to end the season, and they have really let me down. Like I went against the Wolves players in 34 with my Nottingham Forest. I got nothing. Continue to play my Nottingham Forest defenders, and they've just been very disappointing. I honestly don't want to play double ever again for the rest of the season. Um, but yeah, so I don't know who pulled the wool over my eyes. I was so jealous of Killua earlier in the season where he had double nine force defense and he was getting green arrows every single week. And yeah, I really haven't felt that same vibe. I'm lucky that Nick Williams got a fortuitous assist last week, but double one pointers from my Nottingham Forest defenders and my differentials. Vardio points are very template. I think he's like 90% EO, but I did bring him in just last week, so happy to enjoy those points. And Henderson, he was like my hedge against Munoz. Munoz is just an incredible pick, by the way. What do you guys think about Munoz's like positioning? I'm sure you guys must have considered him on free hit, right?
wow, yeah, forget considered he was locked on my damn team, and I like the way you set me up there. But thank you for the through ball. Before I get to my rant on Munoz and whatnot, I just want to say congratulations. You've outscored the template bench boosters who actually they on average got 6 points or 68 points. So congrats on that. I think you doubled that. So yeah, really well done. And yeah, look, what's your rank currently, by the way, Kenji?
Yeah, so right now I'm 350k. I
350
mean,
kit.
realistically, this if I look at like the transfer in, like I stayed up. I for me, I had to wake up early. It was like 6 a.m. in Toronto. I had to wake up for the leak for Man City because when you have Marmoush, you have to do it. Like it's just how it is. I got the news and I made the move Marmoush to Wissa as my one transfer, and it was the same points. And it's
Yeah,
just this is the type of thing, bro, like that just the luck hasn't been there for me, man. Like it just hasn't been. Like every time I go to a position like this, like for example, Wissa, he's been returning every week. I put him in and he's blanked. Like it's just
yeah.
mad.
But I would say luck has actually gone in your favor, Kanji, because if there was a double in game with 36 and blank in 37, I don't know how you would have navigated it. But again, the fact that you've walked it so early in game 27 and you've been able to survive and navigate and actually excel, I didn't see that happening personally. I
Yeah.
didn't know how you
And
was
you
gonna
mentioned it.
navigate. Yeah, I didn't know how you're gonna navigate all these doubles and blanks. Even myself, I was navigating it, but I had some sort of plan on how I was gonna do it. But I didn't understand your plan or anything like that. But again, look, there's a method to the madness, and you've climbed from 4 million to 350. And I'll tell you what, there are
Yeah.
managers like there are content creators who have been obviously having Salah and these other players on the team to start the season, which you didn't have. They're around that rank, and for you to be in that position, I think is still really good. I think if you can get around 200, top 200k or 100k, it's still a
Yeah,
really good
that's the
finish.
dream. I mean, at this
Yeah,
point, yeah. Like
yeah,
after game week 34, my expectations changed. Like the
yeah,
goal was top 100K still every week. That was the dream.
yeah,
But
yeah,
after game week 34 happened, I knew like the dream was crushed. So now it's just about
yeah.
like trying my
That was
best, like
brutal.
one
Yeah,
week at
that
a time.
was.
You mentioned it earlier as well. Like
Yeah,
a bench boost of like 16 points is excellent. Like it's
yeah.
basically like getting four players, 4 points from each
You've got
player.
your
Like that's
chips right. You've nailed your chips. I'm not gonna lie to you. You've actually nailed your chips because your triple captain also banged your free hit. When did you 29? I think I don't know
free
if
hit.
you
Don't
did
worry about
well.
free hit. Free hit is hard to decipher
Yeah,
if it's good or not, you know?
but your arm was really good. Your what's it called? Bench boost was good. So you've nailed 3 out of 4 chips. So congrats on that. Yeah, overall, keep it up, mate. Honestly, I'm honestly proud of you from like as a good friend of mine, and to see you go through what you went through. I know we've said it on the other pod, like to be in this public face and when you're in a space full of hundreds of people and on YouTube, and people questioning your every single moves that you do. Because of your rank and whatnot, and people think that just because of your rank, you don't know what you're talking about or your football, which I think is quite
Mm.
immature for people to think. But yeah, so
Yeah, but that's why
smashed it, bro.
we
Yeah,
built a community where like we have our group of people that's like our circle of people that we trust, right? Like
yeah,
we've built that vibe. So yeah, like regardless of next day, like for example, next season right now you're sitting 1K, start sitting 150K. Let's say next season you guys are at 3 millions. That doesn't mean you don't know ball, right? And I'm just
yeah.
glad that we have the same like mentality. So thanks for
Exactly,
that.
yeah. Yeah. Shen said, Salam Kayman. What's happening, lads? Walaikum salam, bro. Welcome, veteran. Welcome, bro. Shout out to veteran, by the way. Thanks for tuning in. Moving on to sorry, I'll go to Martin first because you did ask me a good question about Munoz. The funny thing about Munoz, I mean, look, he was on my free hit for the whole week and he was pretty much locked, especially after I watched that Forest versus Palace game. I mean, he had 2 big chances to score. And the way he was playing so attacking, I just thought, listen, versus Spurs, especially when they're going to play in the Arctic Centre and there's only going to have 2 days turnaround, surely he's going to bag a return from either a clean sheet or attack and return. But what do you know? Come at the end of the, come deadline day, I overthink the whole situation and went with 2 Forest fullbacks rather than Cells, and I ended up benching Munoz. It was a last minute decision. It was just honestly, there was no rationale behind it. It was just overthinking, honestly, just full on overthinking it. Munoz was the best defender that week, even though the fixture on paper didn't seem like a clean sheet fixture. But there are certain defenders you can't look at clean sheets and think, yeah. Like for example, I'll give you an example like Trent, Munoz, Robinson. You don't pick these type of players for clean sheets. You just pick them for attack and return, and that's
Bro
something I
just
gotta.
threw Robinson in there, bro.
No,
Robinson is
Robinson.
not that guy.
No, Robinson this season he's got like 12 something assists, bro. He's been consistently
He's not
returning,
that guy, bro.
bro. I know, but
Yeah, I'm
he has done really well for some people, bro. He's done really well for some people, and let's not hate on him. Like getting 12 something assists in a single season is not easy for a fullback.
yeah, exactly.
So he's got more assists than Trent this season, actually, as a matter of fact. So that
Nah,
should say
this guy's a
something.
fraud, bro. Let him redo it next
Nah,
season, bro.
but so yeah, look, the biggest mistake, and that's the only regret I have. I don't regret captaining Haaland. My gut says Haaland capped. I stuck with it. And whatever the outcome is, the outcome. I would, even if you were to take turn the clock back down and say, oh yeah, would you change your mind? No, I would captain Haaland versus Southampton 10 times out of 10. Like no, I had no doubt in my mind. If Haaland started versus Southampton, he's the captaincy locked. I don't care. Why not? Especially with
Yeah.
KDB. So yeah, look, I think that swing my green arrow to red arrow. Like it could have been worse if Mbeumo got another pen or something. But ultimately, to only come away with like 200 red arrow with captaincy blank and getting my 50-50 decision wrong with it wasn't even 50-50. I just fumbled like with the Munoz pick. Look, I'm still
So
quite
if
pleased
you
to be where I
had
am.
put
So yeah.
Munoz instead of if you had Munoz instead of Aina, would you be on a green?
Oh, bro, I'll be on a massive green. I'll be on a 10-point green. So it's just one decision
That's
just completely
crazy.
fucked my free hit up.
Unlucky,
So
bro.
yeah,
Unlucky. I'm just glad you went with Eze eventually. Like
no,
I've been
Eze
talking
was
about Eze
locked.
the whole pod, like
No,
season
Eze
start
was
to
locked though.
finish. You know.
No, Eze was locked for me.
Yeah.
No one is taking me out of it. People were telling me to pick
Facts.
Palmer and Salah on free hit though. I'm not gonna mention names. So
Oh.
yeah, you know, they said why Shade? Someone wearing a red top
Oh.
on this pod said, "Oh, you're picking Shade ahead of Palmer, bro, bro."
Oh.
Yeah, man,
All right.
hold that.
You deserve those points. You deserve those points.
Yeah, Shade, bro, he done me solid. Go on, Stark, you cook, bro.
Mate, I wish I could cook. All I'm cooking right now is beans on toast every game week. Bro, look at this, man. Oh, bro, Coyote's long throws, man. We will be there. Oh, what a sight to behold that was every 5 minutes against it. Bro, so 1 goal combined from 2 games versus the 2 shitters. Can you really write De Bruyne and Haaland blanking against Southampton?
It's crazy.
Objectively speaking, I don't think anyone would put a single dollar on that. I don't think anyone would put, like
Yeah.
if you basically turn the clock back and before the deadline you ask anyone, would you put anything down for both KDB and Haaland to blank versus Southampton? I don't think anyone would put a penny.
Yeah, because bro, it's just you're in the perfect scenario on free hit. Mamouche is benched, everyone owns him. You can't get to Haaland like that easily. People took hits all over the gap and they just blank anyways. Like story of Haaland's season.
Literally,
Just
yeah. He's
overhyped asset
overpriced.
really
Yeah,
this season.
absolutely. Overpriced, overhyped, and I don't think I'll be owning him anytime soon, even next season. I have definitely developed an
Damn.
agenda against him. I think he's just a BTEC version of Chris Wood, mate.
Damn.
He's a BTEC version of Chris Wood. I'm sorry. Like you get it for
Damn,
half
bro,
price.
Kayman.
Like it's
You're
literally it, bro.
violating, bro.
Nah, bro. He's a bit like, bro. I'm sorry. Chris Wood has had a better season than Haaland this season, and no one can tell me otherwise. I'm sorry, you cannot. He's been more efficient striker on and off the pitch. But let's be honest, bro. Haaland has not delivered this season. He's not. He's been extremely disappointing. So
You know, you would have thought in preseason he would have been like the favorite for the Golden Boot this season, right?
yeah,
He's not even close.
not very close. No,
Yeah,
extremely disappointing.
definitely. Yes.
So yeah,
For
look,
sure, bro.
Benjay, enjoy your points. I know you're so happy. You're so yeah, free hit 33. I told you, bro. Yeah, but he's still holding L to 34 free hitters, so casual still beat you. So I don't care.
Yeah,
I just want to
33
get
hit. 33 hit wasn't successful either, though, was it? Really?
no.
Only
They
thing
did.
that saved.
No, they did. They got significant green arrow stock. They've gained a lot of because I remember he had 78 points. I think Benjay did.
Yeah, remember it was the Villa players, right? They got Rashford, Watkins, and Rogers.
So they all returned.
I'm pretty sure the field did well though that game week. Like it wasn't that significant over the
Yeah.
field.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
true.
know about
That's true.
that. I don't know about that. Because
I
the
do.
field didn't have triple Villa attack. I got a red arrow that week, so quite
You're
a big
probably
one
right.
too.
You're probably right. I just thought 34 was just way bigger than
Oh yeah,
33.
34.
34
Yeah,
was huge.
huge,
34
huge.
was huge, bro.
Because
It
34, the
was
average
huge.
was 95 to 100 stock for free hitters, and
Yeah.
Benj's were
Well-
Benj and that were hitting 80 and 78. So can you imagine? Like
You see to finalize on
Yeah.
the Haaland, right, as a premium asset. I'm pretty sure it was Meerkat who said that there isn't a single premium in the top 20 for points scored like in the last couple of game weeks.
Yeah.
Like all the premiums are underwhelmed, so that includes Isak. So there isn't one premium asset in the top 20 for total points, I think, in like the last 3 game weeks.
Yeah, they've been shit in the bed.
Mental.
The premiums have been absolute dog shit. So that's why this week I'm looking to captain a non-premium.
Except except Ollie Watkins. I'm pretty sure he's in there.
Yeah, he's been cooking. Yeah. Um,
Hmm.
in terms of the obviously just the chat, if you guys want to obviously address a few questions before we move to the next topic, 'cause we just have done our review. Shout out to obviously Shane, aka FPO veteran, FPO minutes, Adil as well, our boy, Thinking Cap Benjay, Omara as well, Rikick, all the regular. Shout out to you guys. Guys, do
Listen,
smash
I'm
the
going to
like
be honest.
button. Yeah,
I'll be honest. There's a few questions in there that
yeah,
we'll answer throughout the podcast, so just stay tuned. That's
yeah. Okay,
simple.
But
that's
you
the
keep
case.
an eye
Yeah,
on it.
yeah,
You keep an eye on it, boys.
yeah.
Yeah, make sure.
So we'll answer those questions. Just make sure to tune in. All right, start keep an eye on that. All right, let's move on to the next section, which is the what's left to play for the teams that are remaining. Obviously, there are teams that are fighting for Champion League top 5 this season, not top 4. This is a unique season, and obviously there are some teams that are fighting for Europa League positions, i.e., your Bournemouth and your Brentford. The teams that are highlighted in green, you've got Arsenal, Aston Villa, Chelsea, Man City, Newcastle, and Forest. These are the teams that you most likely want to invest assets, or if you're buying this week, you want to buy from those teams. But at the same time, you got to consider the fixtures. For example, Newcastle, they have Arsenal as entry point this week. It's not the greatest entry point. You're likely to maybe get off the Newcastle boys because the next two fixtures are not ideal. Although I do think Isak can hold in any game, so Isak could be hold. The Forest boys, I like their fixtures. They got West Ham. I'd probably keep them, um, even for 38 as well. Chelsea is not exactly the greatest defense either. So Forest boys, you can either, I would say even I would go as far as to say Chris Wood as a buy this week. I think you could do all versus West Ham. So
Um,
I think you could invest into Chris Wood. Um, and then for Chelsea, look, Palmer, if you have the money and you want to go there, I wouldn't blame you because they have something to play for. They're trying to fight for Champions League. I do think you can invest into Chelsea, but other than Palmer, I'm not a fan of anyone else. But even then, with Palmer, without Jackson, how threatening are they on the attack? So I'm not too heavily. I wouldn't be shopping for Chelsea assets personally. And then you've got Aston Villa and Arsenal. I think those are the two teams I'd probably invest into right now. I would probably be buying the likes of Saka, the likes of Marino has unfortunately got a red card, so I would have said even Marino as well, but obviously he's got red carded, so he won't be available. So I'd say Saka is a buy. I would say Watkins is a buy. Rogers is a buy. Yeah, these are the assets that you want to buy the attackers from. In terms of defenders, what would you guys say? Which defense would you target? Because it's tough. The fixtures are not too great this week.
there's only really one guy from one team that I like. Stark. Do you know who I'm talking about?
Yeah, Kanji's definitely talking about Cucurella.
He's the only one I like this week. The
Yeah.
whole like I don't know, man. Maybe an Aston Villa defense. Like I've seen a lot of the Aston Villa defensive options are cheap and they've been returning a lot of points. I know there's somebody, Abdul, Lebanese Brit, who's like doubled up in Aston Villa defense. He's gone from like 300K to top 100K based off of that in the last few weeks. Like they've really been cleaning, surprisingly. I know you guys hated on my concept pick when I wildcarded earlier, but hold that. Anyways, are there any other defenders that you guys like?
I said
Um,
hold that. He's had 2 returns in like 12 game weeks, and you're saying hold that. Have some shame,
Yo,
please.
all right, yeah, fair play. I wish I had the money for Kukurea in that spot, man.
um, go on, Stark. What stands out to you here? Who would you invest into? Who would you target? Who would you avoid? Just to mention, by the way, Liverpool are literally on the beach. We've seen many footages of Salah, Soboslai. They're on the beach in Dubai. Even freaking Slot, he's in Ibiza, enjoying. I've seen him celebrating his championship. So they're literally you just get rid of them now, boys. Honestly, every single
This
I'll
is
get rid of
the
them. Yeah.
Yeah, just
Oh,
for
you're asking
context,
me
like
about
that's like a
defenders?
No, for anything that stands out here, like for example, who would you avoid? Who would you invest into for attackers or defenders?
Obviously, Aston Villa,
Mhm.
I'd definitely invest in. Obviously, you can go Watkins, Rogers, Asensio, maybe a defender. Depends on your free transfers. I'd invest in. It's actually.
It's really hard this week. I still think
Oh,
Brentford is assets a
this
buy. Like,
for this week, it's just Villa. Like if without having to like waste and waffle, majority of people are well set up. They've had wild cards. They've used their free transfers. Villa,
well,
target Villa assets. They
the
play
issue
Tottenham
is
and
though,
Man United.
Stark, you got to look at it from 2 week standpoint. You got to look at it. If they go for Watkins, can they have enough money to go now say someone like Rogers or someone like I don't know a Semenyo or any budget mids or Saar to a Saka? So people having to
Yeah,
choose this week
exactly.
whether to go Saka or Watkins. So say for example you have the front line of Isak, Cunha, or Wood, or you have Wissa, like any combination of front three. Would you basically like would you choose Saka or Watkins for the next two?
Come on, man. There's no way you have to choose between Saka and Watkins. You can have both.
No,
I
there are
refuse
people in
to
that
believe that.
situation. There are people in that situation,
Show
unfortunately.
me one person who's in that situation, please.
Oh, they're my DMs. Unfortunately, I don't want to disclose no names. But
Yeah, I have people in that
unless they
same
have to take
spot. Yeah.
unless they have to take hits, right? They can take hits, right? Some of the people actually have triple bill
Mm.
already, and they don't have Watkins, so they're having to take hits to bring in Watkins and sell the likes of Isak or maybe a Cunha or maybe a Marmoush. So those are the dilemmas right now. I personally don't think. I don't think. I mean, listen. Unless you need the money to upgrade somewhere else, or you don't have enough funds available, I would I would sell Isak to Watkins. However, if you have funds available to upgrade another striker like Marmoush or Wiss, I would say Wissa is a keep to be honest, or maybe Mateta, right? Then I would upgrade with that money. But then the question is, if they get Watkins, then they get Saka as well? That's the tough thing, because people have Saka
Yeah,
keep in
No, no.
mind.
the
Salah,
the
yeah,
key you have to
Salah
factor in
Palmer.
is so the key is like you have to factor in captaincy as well, right? So
yeah.
who do you believe is like the best when we get to captaincy, we can break that down. But basically, I think Watkins and Palmer are the major standouts for captaincy this week. As you mentioned earlier, they're playing against the two teams that should be playing a backup team in the Prem. Their priority should be their match in Europa League, which is somehow in the middle of the season for some reason. I don't know why. The Champions League is after the season, but Europa League is in the middle of the season. Bro, I don't know why the Europa League it just always does the most inconvenient things. Like they don't care about the Prem. The fixture schedule when you have an asset that plays Europa League in the Prem is so annoying. Now they have the final in between 37 and 38. Like what is going on here? Anyways, but it's nice to have somebody like Watkins where you know, like in the next 2 weeks, he's guaranteed 11 points combined. He's gonna get a goal, and when he gets a goal, he picks up the bonus. He'll probably blank in the other one. But the floor is 11. I genuinely think his floor is 11, and you have to factor in captaincy, right? Like I am very indifferent between Watkins and Palmer this week specifically. When we get to the cap session, we'll break it down. But next week, I'm also very indifferent between Salah and Saka. But what do you guys think about next week's captaincy?
I've
I'll,
seen
I'll,
a lot of videos,
yeah.
and Liverpool don't give a shit, man. They do not care two shits about this Premier League. They're having a great time. They're resting up physically, emotionally, mentally. Like they're just on the beach, ready for next season, taking it easy. They're only going to have 1 day of training for this game.
Yeah,
So
definitely. Yeah,
I,
they were on
if you
the
really
farewell tour for Trent.
like, if you've got Palmer, I think Palmer this week. If I don't have Saka, right, so I've got Palmer for this week. And then in 38, it's an easy move, either Palmer or Salah to Saka. This
Right.
game
Okay.
week,
So
if
that's
we
a key.
focus.
That's a key point.
No, 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 no.
Key point.
Kanji, chill.
Okay.
Kanji,
Good.
chill.
Good. Good. Go.
So let's focus on this game week, right? Watkins. Some people are sacrificing Cunha. Some people are sacrificing Mateta. Some like is Isak to Watkins worth a hit? What's the overview on this question? Because hasn't
Mm,
Arsenal conceded to strikers like 5 games in a row now? And Timber and Gabriel
mhm.
are injured.
If
And
I
they've
Yeah,
give
got
you a
you've
bla-
nothing
answered
really.
your own question.
if I give a blatant answer, I think if you captain Watkins, I think it's worth a -4. Yes, I would
I
bank on
think
the. I'll take the risk. Yeah.
it's a very important question
Yeah.
because of the. It's actually it's very significant in the game itself because the game revolves around rank, and Watkins is a rank killer this game week because everyone's bringing him in, and
Yep.
the majority of the player base is captaining him. So
Yep.
even I'm pretty sure even if you own Watkins,
Yeah.
I'm confident Watkins is going to be 100 EO this week.
No, he's going to be the
Close to
highest
it.
EO cap for sure because he scored the last week. He's got 9 points in the week before. So this is how it works, stock. When a player is scoring back-to-back weeks, right, and they're on form, especially for a striker like Watkins, who is really form-driven, and the community is really high on him, it's a no-brainer that majority of the people will go there. And content creators are going to hammer for that Watkins captaincy. So for me, he is literally a template captaincy. So it's not even a situation where, especially if you're defending a rank, I think you have to bring in Watkins. If you're chasing, okay, then maybe
Yeah,
you can back against the field. Like I understand, maybe you keep Isak and you say, you know what, I want to back against Watkins. That makes sense. Like if you want to back against Watkins, you're chasing, then it doesn't make sense for you to take a hit just to be template, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah. So it really depends on if you're in chase mode or you're in protect mode.
Yeah.
I think we have
But
the
say if
bigger
you're in
content creators.
between, if you're in between, I think you still get him though for free if you can.
Yeah, for free, definitely, but not Isak to Watkins -4. No chance in hell. I would never do that. Isak is too good. He can return against anybody. I don't care who he's playing. The goal he scored against Liverpool is the perfect example of like a player that's just he's just world class, bro. So I would never sell
Yeah,
him
but keep
-4
in
unless
mind,
he's
it's at the
Oh,
Emirates though. It's at the Emirates, and Newcastle have had given Arsenal trouble this season. Like they've actually
bro.
manhandled
It
them
could
on
be
multiple
it could be
occasions.
at Anfield. It could be at Bernabeu. I honestly think Isak can return anywhere. Like
He's
that's
not been
just
in
I
the best
believe
of
in him,
form. He
man.
hasn't scored an open play goal the last freaking 5 or 6 games, Kanji. It's let's be fair
yeah.
here. Like we're sitting here and acting
We've
like
all been
Isak in the
wondering
form of
that.
his life.
Well, we've all been owning him, and we've all been wondering that because he has been the captaincy shout a fair few times, and he's even triple captain. He under delivered in the double game week. So recently there was a Newcastle page that came out and suggested that he's going for surgery at the end of the season. So maybe that's an insight as to why he's been underperforming. It could be a sports hernia, I've read.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I understand Isak to Watkins as your transfer, but not a -4. Like, surely
No,
there's
but
someone else in your team you can consider
But
captaining.
Kanji, people have triple Villa already. Like people that didn't free hit in
Yeah.
33, 34, sorry, 33, they tripled up on Villa and then they free hit it in 34. People are still carrying those assets, Kanji. So now the issue is if they have triple Villa and they can't get to Watkins because they are, say, double defense or I don't know, Asensio, Rogers, whatever, they kind of have to take a -4, unfortunately, because they want to get rid of one of
Mm,
their villas. And as much as I'm not a fan of -4, if you're in that predicament and you want to protect your rank, I think it helps you actually to take a -4 and to captain him because you're defending. Like it does. I genuinely do. I think he does. And his ceiling is high this week. I think his ceiling is 2 goals, 13 points.
yeah.
It's very
I mean,
and
it
Watkins is
depends.
just quickly, Kanji, just quickly with regards to Watkins. I think if you own him this game week and you don't captain him, you're gonna want him to blank. But
100%.
if you
Wow, you
bring
think he'll
in
be above
Watkins,
100?
I really do.
100%.
Yeah, I think
100%. Yeah.
100% he will be.
Because you know how
Yeah.
these
Maybe
content
at your
creators are,
guys'
Kanji.
ranked tiers.
We've seen this movie before, Kanji. These content creators start slowly. They
Yeah.
start slowly, and then come the deadline, they
They
start to
push the
hammer in,
EO. Yeah.
hammer in, hammer in, hammer in, hammer in. You'll hear it. You get it. So
Yeah.
we've seen this movie before. Like they're gonna hammer in that Watkins captaincy. Come the deadline day, and his EO is gonna rocket to 100 and whatever per
Here's
second.
the thing though, like we have like 4 big main content creators, I would say that like really push EO. We have like Andy, Let's Talk FPL, and you've got Pros, and I think Ben Krellin would probably be in there, maybe Harry. Those would be the 4 big ones. I think Andy's on Palmer. I think Ben Krellin will be on Palmer. I think Pros is on Watkins.
Sorry,
So
who's
if
following Ben
Harry,
Krillin? Who's following Ben Krillin, bro?
okay, well, I'm just saying like these are just some of the most
What do you
the
mean,
best
bro?
players that are well known.
Ben Krellin's like a top 5K manager
No, I
consistently
know,
every
but I'm
season,
talking
bro.
about he's not a content creator in a sense where he doesn't really like he doesn't do YouTube. I'm talking about the casuals, like
But
majority
he,
will.
yeah,
Bro, I'm not
yeah,
gonna lie. I never went
you're
to
right.
Ben Clinton's page and said, "Yo, let me see who is captaining or what's his team." I'm not gonna lie to you. I'll go to Andy's stream.
Yo,
I'll go to like Raptor and all these guys because they've got like thousands of people
Yeah.
watching them live, bro. Tens of thousands of people watching them live,
do you want to
and
hear?
they
Do you
make
want
the
to? Do you want to
decision.
hear something interesting?
What?
You want to hear something interesting? Mamouche has 338K transfers out,
Mhm.
whilst Watkins has 333,000 transfers in. So 333,000 players who are engaged in 37 have brought Watkins in. So that could honestly be the whole top 300K. Every manager in the
Probably,
top 500K could own Watkins this game week.
Benji
probably.
said ex FPO most ex FPO managers follow Ben Crellin, which I agree they do. But they follow him for his fixture tickets, not for his FPO advice. I'm sorry, thinking cap, Benji. Sorry. The reason being because he doesn't talk. He's not on space. He doesn't do YouTube. Like, come on, let's be all. Come on, I've been following Krillin for a long time. I'm not there watching what's his team and what transfer he's making. The dude literally makes fixtures and
Right.
tickets and whatnot, bro. I'm there to see his fixture ticket,
No
bro.
problem, yeah. Listen, it's all good. We can just agree
Yeah.
to disagree with that
Like
one.
I think
But
he
yeah,
does have an
like he
influence in the
has, yeah.
elite. He does have the influence in the elite managers potentially. Like I'm talking about maybe the likes of Pratt, like the engaged managers, like someone like Benjay, Kanji, like yourselves who are data driven. Like he's a data driven manager, like Fran. But in terms of the casuals, which dictates the EO, is Andy number one, Harry two, Raptor three, and then you've got the rest basically,
Us,
Pras and this. That
us.
those are the
Yeah,
basically focal as well. Sorry, these are your big
yeah,
five hitters. Those guys dictate hundreds of thousand managers what they're gonna do. They dictate
yeah.
100,000
Because
managers
a
what
lot of
they're gonna
people
do.
will just copy paste. Yeah.
Yeah, because
Anyways,
yeah.
let's not debate too much into this. But I think like looking specifically for this slide, there's a couple things to keep in mind. Like certain assets don't have a good fixture in a certain week. I'll give you examples. Nottingham Forest, they have a good fixture this week, a bad one next week. Bournemouth have a on paper a bad fixture this week, but a good one next week.
I
So it's kind
disagree.
of
I
like you need to
disagree.
play the
I disagree
balance.
that Forest have a bad fixture in 38. I disagree strongly. I think Chris Wood can score versus Chelsea. He's already scored this season in the reverse fixture, and we know that Chelsea are a set piece threat. Like this, they can't defend set pieces. Like, so I think Forest has a decent hold even for 38. Obviously, the defense is shocking right now. I'll probably sell off defenders, but the attacker, if you have a Lang or if you have a Chris Wood, I think they can do well, bro.
Yeah,
I
90
imagine the
minutes.
data. I imagine the data backs this up, but Chelsea, I'd say in the last 10 game weeks, probably last 8 game weeks, we've improved defensively. And ever since Lavia's come back into the team, we're a much more solid team. And Forest, on the other hand, defensively have become way worse. They just conceded twice to Leicester.
But
We
you're
had 10
also
men
missing
away at St
Jackson.
James. We had 10 men away at St James's Park, and we only conceded, that fluky deflection that looped over Sanchez, and we actually, for 30 minutes, were holding on to the ball, still defending very well. So I wouldn't necessarily target Chelsea like I was early on in the season, where we were completely wide open. With Lavia back and what we're playing for, those are going to be tight games. They're very difficult.
I would play Chris Wood versus Chelsea in a heartbeat. I don't think he's a sell.
Yeah. But see, this is where like you got to keep in
It's
mind
not.
who
It's not
has
a
like
sell.
the
No one's saying that.
yeah.
But you said he's
Well,
a avoid as well. Can't you say they're a void? I don't think Forest is a avoid.
uh,
Chris Wood is a
I
bad
wouldn't
I
fixture.
buy
listen.
Chris Wood.
It's about priorities, right? Like you look at this. There's three major premiums that are going to swing with your transfers: Watkins this week, and Palmer this week, and Saka next week. So you have to find the balance of how much do you want to get all of them? Are you going to miss one so you can get the next one? And Watkins is going to be there in both weeks. Like Watkins is so interesting because like he plays Spurs,
Okay.
then Man United and Spurs play in 37, and most of us, because Madison's injured and Kulusevski's injured, we favor Man United to win, meaning
But
that their season is already over, and that
but
means that
Kanji,
Aston
we're
Villa
gonna
are
have
playing
three
a
strikers
drunk
now.
Man United.
We're gonna have three strikers
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
If you have
So, but
Watkins,
right, so
who's your? Okay, we'll get into that actually. Let's go to that actually. Let's go to that slide because we have a striker slide already. So why just there we go. Which is the best three forwards
exactly,
you guys think to own from this onwards, from Game Week 37 onwards?
bro.
I like
Watkins has to
Watkins
be.
number one. Watkins, Watkins, Evan Nilsson, and personally, I really like Isak
Okay, so
for
I would
Everton
go
at
with
home. For Everton,
yeah. I would go with like I don't have unfortunately Chris Wood. I'd be jealous of the owners. I'd probably say if I could choose right now and had unlimited transfers, I'd have Chris Wood, I'd have Cunha, and I'd have probably not. I wouldn't probably have Cunha. Sorry, I'd have Chris Wood, Watkins, and probably Evan Nelson. But
I mean, like we
obviously,
don't live in a
yeah,
world where like you're able
yeah.
to like pick who you have. Like you kind of have who you have, and you have to like figure
But
it out, right?
yeah,
So let's say like you have like let's say you have Cunha right now, right? Would
mhm.
you just continue to hold him for the next 2 weeks, or would you be looking to upgrade him?
I would wait for the press conference and
I've got
see.
Cunha.
No, I
I've
would wait
got
for the
Cunha,
press
so I can
conference,
answer
right?
this.
Yeah, I have him as well. But yeah, go on, start, go on.
But you can go first. I'll go next.
So yeah, I would just simply because listen, I know Stark will disagree with this statement, but I do think there's a genuine doubt around his minutes. Him getting subbed off when they were down and they were trying to win is not a good sign. I've heard obviously things such as that his body language was not great. He seems like he didn't really care much on the pitch when he was playing versus Brighton, and he got subbed around 59 minutes, and he also got a yellow card. So that tells me that obviously the managers may not be too pleased with him, but at the same time, he's such a great player and so talented. The managers sometimes let few things slide, but because he's leaving, I'm not sure if he will let it slide. And I would want to hear what he says in the press conference before deciding whether to sell him myself or keep him. Unfortunately, I don't have enough money in the bank to upgrade him to Watkins, so I'm slightly
Hmm.
defaulted to keeping him. But if I had the money and the options, and there was enough doubts for me to think that he may get rotated, I would sell him. Yes, and I would buy Chris Wood
Yes.
this week. Absolutely,
Yeah.
yes.
So
This is why I disagreed with your statement, Kanji, when you said you avoid Forest. But yeah, gone. Sorry.
yeah,
Yeah.
like I think I'll move to you, Stark, but I just want to say like don't compare it to Watkins. Watkins is in a tier on his own for the next 2 weeks. Like we should be
Yeah.
comparing
Yeah.
the rest of the strikers
Yeah.
amongst one
Yeah.
another.
Mhm.
Stark, what do you think about Cunha?
I'm going to keep him for the Palace game because I think it's a really good fixture. It's a Saturday, Tuesday turnaround, I think. So if they win, drunk Saturday night, still drunk Sunday, Did they train Monday? They've just qualified for European football for the first time in how many years? They don't have nothing to play for. I don't really care if Cunha gets 60, 65 minutes. I don't have the free transfer. I understand people wanting to sell him to fund Watkins. It makes sense, but
Yeah.
I just think Cunha can do damage. And I mean, the 2 games before we played 89 minutes, 85 minutes, and it was the same hysteria, the same Wolves account that we all follow, tweeting about he's not really sure about his minutes, etc. The team's been playing so well without him. 15 points versus Leicester, so I think he can do well against Palace. He's my cash cow for Evan Nielsen in 38 versus Leicester.
Yeah, so
I think
that's an obvious
Mamouche
move,
is.
honestly. Yeah.
I'd sell Mamouche ahead of Cunha personally for
Yeah, it makes
Watkins.
sense. I agree with that. Yeah. I do want to mention like Holland's minutes. I think Pep should prioritize Holland's minutes in the Premier League. They have the FA Cup final on Saturday, and then they play in the midweek for the Premier League where they play Bournemouth. And I think that Pep should be prioritizing getting Champions League football, meaning that he should prioritize Holland's minutes in the Prem. Maybe Holland starts both games, the Cup and in Game Week 37, and he gets 70 minutes in both. But I think he'll be benched for the cup, and he'll start and play 90 in the league. I mean, we'll see how Pep handles it, but I think it just if you have Marmoush, you're really in this weird spot. Like, I don't think you can start him. Like, I honestly think
No,
he should
I
be your if
strongly
attacker
disagree with
now.
that. I strongly disagree with this statement because we saw when Marmoush came on with the impact that he had. We've already seen this season when Marmoush played with Haaland, like he really does bounce off him quite well because you can see other defenders, they're so terrified of Haaland. For whatever reason, if I was them, I'd just leave that fucker alone because he's not doing anything anyway. He's a fucking statue. Sorry, I'm swearing so
Yeah.
much. Apologies about my language, but he's a bum. Um, Ultimately, look, Haaland does occupy and get a lot of attention, right? As Stark says, and Marmoush does take advantage of those defenders that pay attention to Haaland too much, and he does get into open spaces and takes his shot really well. And he's a hungry player. He's actually a really good FPO asset. It's just that I think obviously he needs to mature a bit more. He needs to get used to the Premier League and improve his finishing. I've owned him for quite a bit of time now, and I think he does most likely. Again, we don't know his Pep roulette, but I do think he has a good chance of starting Bournemouth as well as Fulham because top four is not locked for them. Like they genuinely cannot afford to bench one of their best attackers. And Marmoush, since he's come in, like he's been one of their best attackers. Foden has been dog shit. KDB is hit and miss. Bernardo's washed. I'm sorry. You've got Gundo, who's also washed. There's a bunch of there's so many bombs in that team, and he's one of the bright lights of that team. So I don't see him getting benched or rotated. I think he needed that rest because he's been getting a lot of minutes because Haaland was injured, right? So it makes sense to bench him versus Southampton because it's an easy fixture on paper, and they would probably expect it to get the goals or whatever. But again, Pep is a psychopath. He delayed it so long to bring him on, and the minute he came on, you saw what happened. They killed the minute he came on, they had the best chance. He hit the post. That was the
Yeah.
best chance of the
Yeah.
game.
Yeah.
So I think Marmoush
Yeah.
is a keep, even over Cunha to some extent. But yeah.
I think
Yeah. Interesting.
Bournemouth's a difficult fixture, and it's only like 3 days after the final. I don't see them walloping Bournemouth, and Fulham like to keep it tight as well. I don't see them walloping Fulham if they didn't score against Southampton. So
Exactly. And
Pep
Marmoush,
roulette slash a team that doesn't score fuck all goals at the moment. He can go fuck himself on the.
he
You want
doesn't
to
even
keep him? You
start.
keep
Like
him, bro.
he's not guaranteed to start, and he's not on pens. What? Like he would be one of my top priority strikers to sell, to be honest. And Chris Wood as well. Yeah, okay, we're not on the
Hey, okay,
opposites
cool,
of
cool.
this
You're gonna sell
conversation, but
Chris Wood. You're gonna sell Marmoush. Who's gonna be a front three, big man? Go on.
bro, I look at Wissa, where okay, if you look at the table, right? I just pulled it up on
Oh,
my
is it
other
the guy
screen.
that got
So you
one
have
point versus Ipswich and got yellow carded when the whole world bought him? Oh, nice one.
yeah, basically. But if you look at the teams that have like something to play for, right? You've got Aston Villa, everybody's talking about them. Then you've got Nottingham Forest are fighting for the Champions League. You've got Brentford fighting for Europa League, Brighton as well, Bournemouth as well. I do want to mention that keep in mind that if Palace win the cup against Man City, the team that's fighting for eighth place in the Europa Conference League, they don't really have the motivation to do it anymore because Palace automatically get that qualification. So yeah, but I still think that we have to operate under the assumption that Man City win because they're a heavy favorite anyway, and it's Pep, right? So I think I really like Evan Nielsen as a good value pick. I like Wissa as a good value pick. Those would be like the guys I like. Chris Wood is fine. Like you don't need to spend a transfer on it. I just think if you're
This is
upgrading
what I
any
think
of
of
these
Pep.
guys,
This is what I think of Pep.
And this is what I think of Haaland. This is what I think of Haaland. Fuck you, Haaland. Fuck you.
I hope Pep stands on Lego.
But nah, listen, Marmoush is gonna cook, lads. I think those who are selling Marmoush, they're gonna get punished. Just wait, bro.
Right,
He's
say
gonna
it with your
cook.
chest, Kayman. Put him in your PFC, man. Put him in the PFC, huh?
Wait, is he under actually 10% owned?
I don't know, actually.
Nah, he's not under 10% owned,
Well,
bro.
take a
Yeah,
look.
yeah, and he's not under 10% owned.
Okay, that would have been crazy.
Should we move on to the next slide?
Yeah.
I just want before we move on, I just want to say my front three, right? Sorry, excuse me. Like right now, if I could just pick from the scratch, I'd say Chris Wood, I'd say Watkins, and Evan Nilsson. But I'll probably bench Evan Nilsson this week. But yeah, that's will be my front three this week. Let's go to the next one, captaincy slide. Yeah,
Bro just like disrespected Isak so hard, but it's fine.
no problem.
Fine.
Thoughts on taking a hit this week for Palmer cap? I'm free hitting in 38. I don't. Yeah, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it, mate. I don't think he's that great without Jackson. So yeah, we're gonna discuss that right now, anyways.
Like,
yeah,
we are on complete opposites of this whole podcast, Kayman. We're literally on complete opposites.
and I love it.
How
bro.
are you guys
I love
feeling
it.
how are we feeling about captaincy, guys?
On Watkins right now, Palmer's a genuine great shout. Wouldn't touch Salah, wouldn't touch Saka. So for me, it's between Watkins and Palmer. It's this simple. It is rank dependent. If you own Watkins and you don't captain him, you want him to blank. So if you own both Watkins and Palmer, this is an interesting discussion. I own both. Palmer's under 5% EO within like the top 100k. So anything Palmer gets, you get a sizable green arrow. Anyways. So if you captained Palmer and you own Watkins and Watkins smashes it, like you're fucked. The rank is just going.
Yeah.
So I would just captain Watkins, be with the field, have Palmer who gains you rank anyways. But if you really, really feel like your analysis is telling you Palmer's going to go big, go for it. But for me, I don't know how anyone can sit there and assume that based on the fact that Jackson can't play, Sancho can't play. We don't even know who Maresca is going to bring in. It's on paper, it's Tyreek George, but we don't know how that will impact the team. We know United are missing De Ligt and Euro, but they still operate with a back five. We don't have a number 9. So, we struggle to score goals, and Palmer has been underwhelming. So you just completely gambling with Palmer.
Good analysis. I agree with your statements. I just want to say I think Saka is an outside shot captaincy this week. If I'm personally not going to do it because I've tried to be different last week and it fucked me, so I'm not doing it again this week. But if I was actually chasing and I wanted to be a bit different and back against the crowd, I'd probably go Saka cap if I had him. That would be my second favorite option. My first favorite option on paper is a no-brainer. I'm sorry, his template is Watkins. Tottenham, they're going to rotate. They're not going to play the best team. Watkins high line at home. He just gets tons of chances. And they need the top 5. So yeah, I back Watkins heavily this week.
So is Watkins on penalties or no? What do you guys think?
This is opinion. I think this is subjective, to be honest. People will be like Asensio. People will be like, there's no Tielemans, there's no Rashford. So those two are above Watkins, so they're out the window. So it's between Asensio and Watkins. Asensio just missed 2 in a row in the Prem. Watkins scored his 2 out of 2 in the Prem. Realistically, who knows?
Yeah, I don't know.
So you're not captaining. I would say you're not certain you're captaining a penalty taker. That's the first thing I would say. The second thing is that if I would equate the Spurs fixture with the Man United fixture personally. That's how I feel. I think they're both horrendous defensively. I don't care back 3, back 4, back 5, all this stuff. I understand the positional narratives and the formations people use and how to break them down. I understand that. And I also understand how high that high line is that Palace had when they were playing against Spurs. And I looked at that. I couldn't believe it. But I think Palmer is more reliable. He has more routes to points, and he's guaranteed to play 90 minutes, unlike Watkins. He's guaranteed to be on penalties. As an asset, Palmer is clear of Watkins, period. His minutes are better, and that's why it's not even close. Like, I genuinely think it's not even close.
So you don't think Palmer versus Watkins captaincy is close this week? Close?
No, it's not close.
Why?
Because Watkins is not
is
guaranteed pens. Bro, because, 2 weeks ago, Watkins didn't get 90 minutes.
Yeah, but he
And
just
and
got that 90 minutes
Watkins
last
as
week.
a
Let me
player,
respond.
let me
respond
let me
with
finish.
facts.
Let me finish. Let me finish, and you can counter. Watkins in the last week, he got subbed off for Mullen. Are you guaranteed to tell me he's on 90 minutes? No. Second thing, is he on penalties? No. And historically, in his entire career, he's never been a good finisher. He's underperformed his XG every season. The reason why he gets points is because he gets so many chances. He's a talisman, obviously. But I'm just showing the other side of like Watkins is not like a guaranteed. Like there's more risk to him as an FPL pick in general. That's why we haven't owned him the whole season, right?
But he's been
Right,
smashing it
I'll
though.
come in now. I'll come in now, right? So, with regards to Watkins' minutes, the reason why I think he's nailed for 90 is because Jacob Ramsey's injured. Rashford is injured. So, if Marlon was to come on, I personally think he would come on the left-hand side. So, I don't see Marlon coming on for Watkins in the 60th, 65th minute. I think Watkins was subbed off because he put in a poor performance, and rightly so in his profession. If you put in a poor performance and you keep missing chances, the manager has every right to sub you off and bring something different on. This game week, Tottenham high line, Watkins, his play style operating on the last man. I think his open play threat is significantly higher than Palmer's. Like, if we're going to talk facts, Palmer's been underwhelming for like 16 game weeks. I think he blanked 16 game weeks in a row, he didn't score. So Palmer doesn't take set pieces. Neto and Enzo do. So Palmer's only routes to points recently has been pens. So like you're just banking on him getting a penalty in your mind. Would you not captain someone who's not nailed on pens, Kanji?
No.
Why? Don't you think that's a bit closed-minded?
It's just even
That's
if they're
not
like
true though.
if
That's
as
not
long,
true. You've captained someone that's not on pens though. You captained Johnson before.
I did, yeah,
You've captained Trent as well.
okay,
You've
yeah, I
captained
have
Trent as
done it.
well.
Are
You've captained
yeah,
Trent. You
but
captained
both of those
Johnson. So let's be honest here.
yeah, both of those didn't work. I would never do it again for the rest of my FPL career. Like I think if you catch me captaining somebody that's not a penalty taker, you can like tell me I'm wrong. But going forward for the rest of my career, I don't think I'll ever do it. Honestly,
For me, it's not about pens. For me,
honestly,
it's about the asset. Obviously, ideally, you want to go for talisman who's got pens and whatnot, and it makes sense to you to captain that player. But there are certain circumstances where you do have to consider the open play threat, and some assets like Watkins, they get a lot of big chances. Obviously, the conversion is depending on how they're feeling on the day, and obviously, um, sometimes they hit and miss. But at the end of the day, as long as you get the chances, the execution is you just got to bank on that. He's feeling better that day and he executes. And it's also not guaranteed
yeah.
that you're
I
going to
think
get
they're both
penalty
great
every
options.
game as well.
They are both great options, let's be honest.
They're
And
both good
especially,
options.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're splitting hairs basically. Like
But you
it's one
said
of
it's not
those where
even
like
close,
if
though.
you
I think that's a
believe
strong thing to say. You said it's not even close. I think it's
I
extremely
I
close.
I actually believe it's not close because like Watkins doesn't have the minutes, not nailed, and does not nail the pen. So for me, like on paper, it's not close. But like that's my opinion. And
So
like
what's your
if you
ceiling for
believe
Palmer?
Watkins is taking the next
What's your ceiling for Palmer this
bro,
week?
Watkins, bro, Palmer can get a hat trick in any fixture. Like any penalty taker can get 3 pens. You know, like it's
Okay,
just how
but
it is. Like
no, but I'm just saying, like, so you're saying Palmer's ceiling this week
bro,
is what?
I think Chelsea destroyed Man United 3-0 this week. They don't have any fit center
Okay.
backs. The coach
Mhm.
shouldn't care about this game. I like to think about it, Kayman. If I'm asking you, are you excited for the game? You're gonna be like, yeah, I can't wait for the Europa League final. You don't even care about what happens in the Chelsea game. And
I
I
know, but
think Man United fans should be thinking that way.
I know. My question was, you said his ceiling is three goals. You said this game, yeah. I think that's just insane, bro. That's actually insane. But
Bro,
look,
he did it last year in the same fixture.
yeah, but then this year when you played us, what did you do? You blanked. It's not the same
Bro,
team. It's not the
nobody
same
is
manager, bro.
guaranteed.
It's not the
Yeah.
same team. It's not the same manager, and it's not the same for either team. And it's not the same Palmer. Last
right,
season, like Palmer had a like insane season, bro, breakout season. Like he's not been the same player this season.
Yeah.
And not only that, it's a different manager, different system, bro. And then with United, same different manager, different system. Like like you can't compare the two, bro. And
No, but you're
then
saying like it's not possible. I'm just saying like it is possible. I've seen it before.
right.
Yeah.
Kanji. The
Yeah.
one thing I'd give you in favor of Palmer is obviously that he's nailed on pens, and second, he's a midfielder, right? So he gets more point for a goal. But I don't agree with your take that Watkins isn't nailed for 90 minutes. I think the injuries make
Yeah.
him incredibly nailed for 90 in this fixture.
Yeah. And
Also,
depends. And depends. Like if you believe that he's 90 minutes and pens, it changes the combo. Like if you believe those two
but for
things.
me, I'm not
I
captaining him
couldn't.
because of pens. I don't give a sorry. I don't give a toss if he's
Yeah,
on
Okay,
no, I
pens
know.
or
so
not.
I know, I get it.
As long
I
as
get
he
it, bro.
buries
okay,
his open play chances, that's all I care about.
Yeah.
okay, so you see, Tottenham have conceded 1.6 goals per game this season in the Premier League. That's basically essentially 2 goals per game they concede. Other than Leicester, Ipswich, and Southampton, which team in the Premier League has the worst expected goals conceded in the Prem? Do you reckon?
I don't know. Probably Spurs. I'd say it. I guess.
Yeah, it's Tottenham. So Leicester have 70.2 xG conceded. Tottenham have 60.8 xG conceded. So they're only
That's
9
crazy.
point something away from Leicester, and Ipswich are 72.5. Two of some of the worst teams in the Premier League. That's where they're sitting.
Yeah.
So
I mean, both these. Listen, it's like we're splitting hairs. So I want to emphasize this, but it's just on paper. Like I have to go Palmer. Like, and I'll emphasize this again. No one in my mini league owns him. No one. I'm 30 points behind everyone. Like I haven't owned Salah for like a specific period of time where everybody owned him and captained him. They were getting 100 points from this. I got zero. Like I was owning Son. Like I got like 10 points where other people got 100. So I am the gap I had. It was huge. I've cut it as small as I can, but I need some luck. And if Palmer can deliver like a hat trick of even penalties for me, I would destroy people in my mini league. They don't even own him. Like they'd be questioning their existence, bro. Yeah. I mean, I'm just
uh,
hopeful, but
look at how many points do you think realistically? How many more points does Palmer get than Watkins in this game
bro,
week?
Palmer and Watkins should both get like 10 points this week. That's what I honestly think happens, but we'll see how it plays out, right? Like Watkins just should be a lock to get something. So should Palmer. Like I believe they both return. Two of my favorite premiums this week, but the premiums have not delivered, right? So we'll see. I do want to say the Palmer performance against Liverpool is the only reason I'm high on this. Like I saw something in him that really changed my mind. Like he had so many plays. He hit the post once. He cut back something on the right wing. I think he got past Robertson, cut it back, and then he didn't get an assist for it because it was an own goal or something like that that happened. Like Palmer really showed me something in that game. I know it was against Liverpool's backup midfield, but Van Dijk still played, Trent played, Salah played. The midfield was a backup team. I'm sure he could be playing a backup Man United squad too. So I really think there's something in it for him. So I want to back
Can,
him, and
can
I
I
want to be
just give it?
differential myself.
Can I just wrap this up and give shout out to Thinking Cap, aka Benji? Check out his channel on YouTube, Thinking Cap on X as well. He's done this phenomenal graphic for us to have this discussion every week. So do subscribe to him, then do check his channel out. He does an in-depth analysis of the captaincy. He looks at various things such as kickoff time, players, what did they drink, what did they. It's just ridiculous an amount of analysis. So shout out to Benji. Us, man, we're just talking about based on what we've seen and our obviously our observation and obviously the numbers that are in front of us. Is there anything that stands out from the numbers that you guys see in front of the screen and the graphic to sway your
I
mind?
mean,
I
it's
guess
excellent.
the one that stands out the most is obviously the expected minutes, as you mentioned, Kanji for Watkins and Palmer, which I agree with you. I do think that Watkins is not probably he doesn't have the same amount of minutes as Palmer, and I do think that the Palmer's ceiling does he might have a higher ceiling because he's a midfielder and he's on pens. I also agree with that. However, to say they're not close, I think is quite I think it's a bit
Yeah,
it's a
it's
bit
just on
crazy
paper.
because
Like on paper,
even on
yeah,
paper, I think it's a close captaincy because I do think that Tottenham are much more worse defensively than Manchester United. And I'm sorry, the numbers say so, and they do back me. Look at the Tottenham XGC 61, Manchester United 54. They've considered 59 goals, we've
yeah.
considered 53. So it is quite So
10%. It's just 10% worse. I know what
yeah,
you're
but
saying.
I, I
that's significant, quite significant
It
actually.
is, yeah, it is. It is, yeah. You're giving yourself extra 10%, yeah.
Yeah, like that's quite
I think
significant.
I just think it is a big gamble going Palmer, purely because you don't even know. He can either bring Reece James as the right back, which would mean Palmer's the false nine, or Tyreek George plays as the false nine with Neto and Palmer plays as the 10th. So don't know how Jackson out. Historically, Jackson out is a negative for Palmer. So you're going into the fixture,
Mm.
captain and Palmer, and it's a negative for him when Jackson doesn't play. Like you can't
Yeah,
ignore that fact.
that is the one factor that has me questioning whether or not this is the right decision. Is Jackson being out. I'll be completely honest with you. I've had this on my plan for a while to captain him this
I'll
week.
tell you what, Kanji,
But
if I'm Amarim, I'm literally man marking Palmer and I'm telling Sancho, you beat us, or Neto, you beat us. Someone else beat us. It
yeah,
will have to be Enzo
yeah.
or one of the wingers, like they will have to score. It won't be Palmer, most likely. I don't think because we've seen the template of how to mark Palmer. We've seen it. He's the poster boy, and the poster boy has been figured
Yeah.
out. I'm sorry, Stark. And I rate Palmer highly. Like on the eye test, he passed flying colours in terms of dribbling the ball, creating the chances and whatnot. But I do feel like somewhat he's been figured out this season. Like the Liverpool performance was insane. I'm not gonna lie. It was back to him old
Yeah, I'm
self.
not. Listen, I
Yeah.
don't want to get into this debate on this podcast. I want to keep it FPL, but I respectfully
Yeah, yeah.
disagree. So
No,
let's
fair
move on.
enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. But yeah.
He's not been found out, bro. But anyways,
Bro,
he's
Kanji,
not a
every
fraud.
single big game, bro, he's been a no-show. I'm sorry, guys. You guys can like
Yeah.
whatever, bro. I'll be objective here, but it
But
is what
that's
it is.
facts. No, that's facts. That's objective. That is facts. He has gotten
What
what,
big
like,
game
no
has he
points
showed
in the
up this
big
season?
game.
What big game? Can you name me
Yeah,
one big game he
none.
showed up?
Basically none. Bro, no offense, Kayman, but United is not a big game. No offense.
Okay, but
Like,
did
it
I
just
say it
is
was a
what it
big
is.
game though?
I know, but I was just, if that's what you were trying to get at,
No, it
that's
was
not the
this
same.
game is not a big game. We don't care about this game. But I'm talking about
Yeah,
like Palmer as a performer this season. We've seen he's not been showing up. Like he's got a good GA and whatnot, and he's got enough points and whatnot. But those numbers are skewed because he scored 4 or 5 something GA versus Brighton when they played right into the Chelsea's hand. But look, I'm not a Palmer hater, by the way. Like I have nothing against him. I love the player. I think he's one of my favorite players to watch in the Premier League. But I do want to give you caution, Kanji. There's no Jackson, and even though United don't care about this game, I wouldn't be shocked if he blanks. And yeah, just caution.
yeah. Yeah, it's very fair, bro.
All right,
It's
let's
fair.
move on.
I understand.
All right, moving
Say
on.
less.
Should we look at the goals considered charts for Meerkat for Tottenham? I know I've looked at it in the past, but just one more time for the strikers. A lot of blue dots over there, Stark. How do you feel?
I've been targeting Ange's Tottenham all season long. It's been working every single time, and I'm going to continue to do it. I think it's the best fixture in the Prem, in my opinion, because these Leicester, Southamptons, and Ipswiches, they concede a lot of goals, but sometimes they can just play like really low block anti-football, and you can get stung by it with your asset. Whereas Tottenham, every game week, high line on the half. They don't even sit on the half; they sit in front of the halfway line. And Villa are undefeated in 17 league home games. They haven't lost a game at home in 17 games. And they have to win in order to qualify for Champions League football. Secondly, they're 12 goals behind Chelsea on the goal difference. So if we operate on the assumption that Chelsea win both their games, Villa have to make up at least 12 goals on the goal difference to finish above them. So for me, it's Watkins. Palmer will gain me rank if he returns, and I'll be cheering the boys on against United tomorrow. Win-win.
I'll just echo everything that he said, and I've been targeting Spurs the whole season as well. I've not, fun fact actually, I have not owned a single Spurs asset the whole season. I have not any assets, and from game week 1, people are telling me they're the best attack. Must have a Spurs attacker, but we're not gonna go there. That's here nor there. I got something else for you, Kanji. This is for you, Kanji, specifically. I know you're on Palmer cap. Go on. What are you cooking up here?
You're muted.
Muted.
My bad, boys. But yeah, like, I don't know what to say about this. I haven't really looked at the Meerkat data myself, but
Oh, okay.
I'm sure a lot of great players have played against Man United and done well this season. So yeah.
Bro, you can say you can talk your shit about my club. It doesn't matter, bro. That's fine. I'm not gonna take
I
offense to that.
don't
It's fine.
listen. I don't want to hit you too hard when you're down because
No,
yo,
it's
when you
okay.
come
You can
back,
talk shit,
then
bro.
you're
No,
gonna
bro.
hit
No,
me
no.
just as hard. You know?
No, it's okay, bro. No, honestly, bro. Listen, you can honestly. We've been poor. Look, Palmer's positioning. He plays what? He's gonna. What do you think he plays by the start? Because there's no Jackson now. You think he plays striker?
It makes sense to play with Tyreek George. It makes sense to bring in another attacking-minded outlet player, because if Reece James comes in, that means we have. I don't know. I really honestly, because he likes to invert the fullback. So for me, it would make sense for Tyreek George to come in, and
Because
I
I'll
just
tell you
don't know how
what,
that.
right?
I
Our
don't know how that would
weakness,
work with our team.
our weakness is through the central. I'm not gonna lie to you. Strikers do normally tend to feed versus us. Like, I would say probably if he does play striker, maybe he could do well. But yeah, but the wingers have to obviously create
Look at
chances and
Mhm.
make sure that he.
look at those green dots. Look at
Yeah,
those green dots, man. They're
left
like
wing. Yeah,
right in the 6 yard box.
yeah, exactly. There's a lot of
That's where
movement as
Uh-oh.
well.
What is?
that's where Sharda
Uh-oh.
plays, right?
Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah. Facts, bro. I don't know what Stark is cooking with this Chelsea, but let's see what he's thinking.
All
Maybe
right.
it's in his PSC.
Should we look at the goals and clean sheet odds quickly? Can you?
Yeah, I mean, look at how strong the Aston Villa and Chelsea data looks like for goals. Do we have like a breakdown of like anytime top goal scorer odds or
Yeah,
something like
yeah.
that?
I've got that up as well, Kanji.
Oh, would you look it? Of course, Ollie Watkins at the top of the list. Oh goodness. But you know what's funny? Palmer is like maybe 10% worse than him, but his XA, the chance of an assist must be so much better than Watkins, though. Anyway, and he's
I
also a
don't know though.
midfielder.
I don't know,
Anyway,
Kanji. I would want to push back on that because I'm sorry, Kanji. I don't mean to just obviously constantly combat you or go after you. It's not. It's just that when I watch
brother,
Watkins,
I'm poking my Palmer narrative on every slide. So
yeah. So I don't know, like, but when you watch him, right, Stark, I do think Watkins is overall really good. Like, he's a good striker. He's got a good link up play. He can pass, right? I think he does have a decent assist threat. Like, I've seen him quite a few times pop up with an assist or a goal this season. So I think you would be surprised that like if Watkins has similar assist threat. I would say obviously not as I won't say similar. I think he does a decent assist threat, but Palmer definitely has more
yeah,
for sure.
It's
yeah,
Tottenham.
definitely.
Listen, at
Yeah.
the end of the day, when it's Tottenham, data kind of goes out the window to an extent. They're just shit. So Watkins could easily be in on goal and could square it to Rodgers for a tap-in. Like that.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the kind of chance. When you watch Tottenham play, the opposition is always one pass away from being one-on-one with the goalkeeper.
With yeah, and that's exactly where Watkins thrives. By the way, he loves those runs in behind the defense.
Yep. Should we move on to PFC? PFC.
100%, bro.
Go on.
Let's run him in.
No.
All right. So we had PFC from last week. I don't know who went first, but I think it was Kayman. I think you had first pick.
Yeah. I went with Elanga and Pedro Porro, which both worked out, but unfortunately my captaincy did not work out. I've got 2 points, but quite happy still. So yeah.
Yeah, and then I think I went second. I had Gibbs White as the punt, and he absolutely destroyed it. I've been hearing news that he's been getting injections to try to finish the season. He's been dealing with a lot of pain, but he delivered a massive haul for owner. Shout out to those people like Ethan and Benji that own him. I flopped Kirkez because they were playing against Aston Villa, and Villa have been so consistent. Glad he actually flopped. And captaincy of Mbumo, I know I have to go different from these bums, and thankfully their captain blanked, and my captain returned. So a nice 3 for 3, and I climbed in the ranks this week for PFC.
Fun fact, actually, I've not owned Watkins this whole season, Benjay, and I actually rate Watkins really highly, and I've always spoken highly of him. And he's punished me in every single double game because I didn't own him, but circumstances didn't allow me to own him. But it is what it is. We move. But Kanji, yes, well done. You're the only one that won 3 out of 3 this week on your PFC. Gone stock. You got Sade,
And
Murphy, and Haaland.
Kanji, isn't it interesting how you've got a big smile on your face the week it goes well, but the week it goes bad, you don't want to participate in PFC anymore, eh? What happened to
Yo,
the
look, yo, you're
what happened
letting know the
what
behind the
what
scenes.
what happened to start creating a system where the rich stay rich?
Oh
Where did
no,
that
you
go?
know what? We gotta break this down in the off season, bro. Like, we gotta change the rules, bro. People are gonna be
So
flopping players that
let
don't even get minutes in a game week and all this
let let
nonsense,
let
bro.
let's get this right. Let's get this right. I'm top overall, but I'm picking last in back-to-back game weeks. But apparently the rich get rich in the system that I created. Kanji was last in the table and he picked first. Explain how the rich stay rich, Kanji.
Bro, if you have the first pick, all right, let's not get into it on the pod, but if you have the first pick every time, you get the best punt every time. You'll have the best flop every time. Like, what do you mean? It allows you to
Not
stay on top.
necessarily. Not necessarily though. I disagree because I was last picked this game week and I've got Pedro Porro as flop. I would say he's the best flop in the whole game.
Probably. He probably is. You're probably right.
But anyways, Sade returned. Murphy got a shocking assist against my own club, and Haaland blanked against Southampton. Let's go! Come on.
Yeah, Murphy, the Velociraptor, comes for stock once again.
I can't beat this guy, can I?
No, the tally. There we go. The tally, boys. Listen, Stark is getting nervous, guys, and you'll see how he's getting nervous. Like, he's shaking in his boots. He's changing his play style. He's getting nervous, right? So you'll see it in the next slide. 47-47, me and Kanji were going battle neck for neck. We're going band for band every week. And Stark, he had a nice, comfortable lead. He was leading by 6 or something points, I think. And we're only 2 points behind him now. We just need to mess up once or twice right now. So let's see. Moving on to game week 37, punt and flop. I picked McNeil. Oh,
I
sorry,
got you. I
Kanji, you're
got you.
first. You're
No, no,
first.
let me go first. Yeah, I'm first
Yeah.
this week. So thankfully, I had a good week. It's time to keep the momentum trucking forward. Vardy is in a really unique position. This is his last game for Leicester. Last game at home. He's on 199 goals in the Premier League. This is the perfect punt, in my opinion. A player that should be playing 75 plus minutes on penalties. A good analytical pick. So happy to be taking him as my punt this week. Captaincy is definitely on Palmer. If you listen to the pod, you know how high I am on Palmer this week. And flop is bloody Jacob Murphy. I know Liverpool put up 2.5 XG against Arsenal, and I know Newcastle have something to play for this week, but I'm tired of these Velociraptor points. He doesn't deserve this. He's been getting really lucky. I think it's time for him to flop once again.
Come on, Murphy, do something. Show me something versus Arsenal. Come on, I need you one more time, please, mate. I went with McNeil, aka Mick Messi, playing Southampton. Come on, he surely got to get me something. He's in the form of his life. I mean, he did get benched last week, but even then, he's got to return off the bench. He just can't seem to scoring FPO points. I think that's one of the assets maybe I'll consider next season from game week 1, as did you like to say, end game pick. He's a really good option, I'll be honest. If there's any attack, they get attack and return that team gets is through McNeil. So that's my punt for this week. I got Bruno as a flop because I don't think we care about this game versus Chelsea. So I don't think he'll be really up for it. I think Amir would want to save him and protect him this game. So yeah, makes sense. And then you got Watkins as captaincy. I'm going with my gut. So yeah.
Great, it looks great. Bruno flop, you love Bruno, don't you?
I love JP. I love Bruno. I love what's the other one? Pedro Porro. These are my rotation, man. These are my guys that don't let me down. That's how I've been making comebacks. My gun stuck. He got Beto, Pedro Porro, and Watkins gone.
I'm going 3 for 3 this week, and I'll win the title. And I'll be on the beach next game week, PFC.
Better blank, inshallah, will be there. Pedro Porro, come off the bench, gets an assist. We will be there. And Watkins, yeah, he's going to return, obviously. So you're going 1 out of 3, mate. We'll see.
Oh, hold on, let me get this straight. So I'm hate watching Everton.
It's all right.
Nice.
Basically.
Bro, this is Everton's last game at Goodison Park at home against
If
Southampton.
Haaland can get locked up by Southampton, I'm sure Better is not that hard of a task, mate. I'm so sorry. I'm freaking sorry. I'm sorry, mate. I'm sorry.
Nope.
Please. Thank you. There we go.
Everton will score two goals in that game minimum.
And none of them will be involved with freaking Beto. Thank you very much. Kanji, your team, mate.
Yeah, so the team, I didn't expect to be playing Konza in my back line, but he's made it back into the 11. I mean, his form is incredible. I am stuck there with Nico Williams. I really don't want to be playing him, but I can't be playing Livermento away at Arsenal. So he's just in there for his one-pointer, probably. Vardy's in there. Everybody owns him. Henderson versus Kepa. I honestly am tempted to not play Henderson, but he's in the scenario where, like, if he doesn't play, he gets 0. So he'll automatically just get an auto sub for Kepa. But I don't really want to be playing Kepa either, but I think he's a nailed on 3-pointer. I don't even think City scored 2 goals in that game. And then moving on to my midfield, Bumo, Palmer, Salah, as well as Isak. Those guys have been staples of my team pretty much since I've wildcarded, haven't touched them. And I'm going in and I'm basically an Aston Villa fan. I've got Konza, Rogers, and Watkins, hoping for goals. Even though I haven't captained Watkins, I don't think his EO will be above 100%, unlike you guys. But I think I'll still be able to enjoy those points, and hopefully Rogers will be able to get some assists. In fact, Rogers has picked up 4 returns against Aston Villa in the 3 fixtures against them this season. He got a goal and assist in the cup, and I think he got a goal in the reverse fixture away from home. So hopefully he delivers something at home. And then Wissa. Unfortunately, I have to continue to keep him in my team for the next 2 weeks. He's not on pens. I don't even know if he's nailed with 90 minutes, given that the backup Brentford striker is back in the picture. But we'll see what happens to him. He's a good finisher. He gets a lot of chances, and he's been getting so many points. I mean, the thing is, I've been so unlucky. These players like Wissa and Nottingham Forest defenders, when I own these players, they don't return. But when I don't own them, they've been smashing me. So, yeah, maybe they'll deliver over the next 2 weeks when I'm forced to play them. So, yeah, I wish I had the transfers to switch him to Evan Nielsen next week, but I don't. And I had to decide on my path of which premiums I want, and I decided I want all of them. I'm going for Palmer cap plus Watkins, and I'm keeping obviously Watkins for next week, and I'm going to be doing Palmer to Saka in 38. It's basically a nailed on move. Stark will have to talk about Palmer versus Salah out to get to Saka in 38. But yeah, my move was Wood out to Watkins, and I'm the opposite of Kayman. I don't think Wood is that important. I think he'll probably blank versus Chelsea. They've improved defensively a lot.
First, team looks good. And when Wood does score, but we'll be there, mate. We'll be there. All right. The team looks good, though, man. All the best to you.
Thank you.
Stark, your team, mate.
Yeah, I like the look of my team for this game week. On Jake O'Brien, I don't think they've had the press conference just yet. I'm not sure. I think it could be tomorrow, early. But he's been called up to the Ireland national team, I think, for the first time. So that shows signs that the injury definitely isn't serious, and hopefully he's back in training. It's also his birthday today, by the way. So hopefully he gets a nice birthday start, birthday bullet header. Who says no? Not me.
Yeah, good luck, man. I mean, he's a differential for you. I wish you all the best. The team looks really
Yeah,
strong. I'll
you
probably
are.
Bowen versus Isak is a dilemma, and Munoz. I think Wolves will score, and I think if Palace win, bro, yeah, I don't know.
Would you
I
consider
think
benching Cunha for Bowen?
no, because Cunha's a differential for me against a drunk Palace team. I would
The upside is too
not.
high to bench him. Yeah. In case that scenario happens, I understand. By the way, our attack is identical. It's just Wissa versus Cunha. We have everybody else is the same in our attack.
Best looks really strong, mate. I wouldn't bench Bond maybe, but I do see why you're benching him. You got a strong team, so yeah, nice. Moving on to my team, I'm going to be selling Isak for Watkins. That is a risk I'm taking, and I'm benching the likes of Trippier, Konate, and Murphy due to the fact that they've got a tough fixture, and I don't think Konate starts versus Brighton. But yeah, captaincy is Watkins, and yeah. Otherwise, I'm not a big fan of my defense. I don't think I have too many good. I mean, defenders are good, but the fixtures I don't think is too great. But yeah, overall the
Wait, you
midfield and
have
up front.
Marmoush in your team?
Yeah.
Damn.
Why? What's the problem?
Damn. I honestly don't think he starts this game. We'll see what happens. I
Oh,
don't know
fair
what's gonna
enough.
happen here.
No, fair enough. That's fine.
Are you gonna play him in 37 and 38 regardless of what
No,
happens in
I'm selling him
37?
in 38.
Or
I'm selling him in 38 for Evan Nelson.
oh, okay. Yeah, that's a great move. That's an excellent move.
If it doesn't start, it doesn't start.
Yeah.
It is what it is, mate. So we will see.
Yeah. Oh, you've
But
got
I don't have.
Saka already, so that makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Yeah,
I understand.
I'll probably have Murphy first bench, but yeah, that's about it. What do you guys think?
Yeah, it looks
Looks
great,
shit.
bro. Marmoush and Cunha will be your differentials. If they blank, you're getting a red.
Yeah, probably. Let's see. So yeah, do you guys want to
Yeah.
go to the questions on the chat and then we'll end the stream?
100%, bro.
It looks good, bro. It looks good.
No worries, bro. No worries.
It looks good.
I would have liked to probably ideally start Konate, but obviously Liverpool on the beach, so that's not happening.
Oh.
Yeah.
Mm.
You can't put Bowen on the bench. Lord Bowen is still differential. I don't think he's a differential anymore, mate. A lot of people have him.
Yeah, I don't
Murphy
know
to
what game
Asensio
he's
for
playing.
Murphy to Asensio for a -4 worth it. I don't think so. I'd probably go for Rogers. Maybe it's worth it, but I'm not sure about. I don't like Asensio. Probably like Rogers more. Who
You
knows?
can't -4 that, bro. You can't -4 that.
Yeah, Mateta will outscore Watkins this week. Might as well start him. Yeah, you can start him, but I don't know how about his minutes, mate. I would probably say he's a sell now, Mateta. By the way, Villa have been scoring oh yeah, that's what I think he's saying. Ben just saying apparently they score and they shut the shops. Mate, you didn't hear what Stark said. You just ignored what he just said, bro. He said there's a huge goal difference, mate. They need to make that up. Like, and they're
Yeah.
at home. At home, they don't shut shops, mate. At home, they don't do that.
What was the
Yeah.
score against Newcastle at home when they played them? Remind me
Yeah,
again.
that's what
I've
I'm
got a
saying.
bad memory, Benji. What was the score between Aston Villa and Newcastle at home?
Yeah. Yeah.
What was the score?
I think it was
Oh, it
like
was
4-1.
4-1. It was
Yeah.
4-1 to Aston Villa. Yeah, they really shut up shops, fairs.
Yeah. Also, Thinking Cap and Kanji are really high on Palmer. They're saying he's about to score a hat trick. So we'll see if he scores a hat trick. So yeah. What else you got?
I
Do I
mean,
play
one
Doku
goal
or
is
Mateta?
nice. That's all I need.
Do I play Doku or Mateta? I don't like either, mate. I'll probably sell. I think I've already replied to that, but I'll probably sell one of them. Okay, what's another question? Matt says, would you do Mateta and Enzo to Watkins and Semenyo for next week, or roll and have two transfer next week? Mateta to Watkins. I'll do Mateta Watkins this week, and do the other move next week maybe. This week is not necessary. 3K rank, yeah. And I'll captains Watkins as well. I'll
Bro,
play safe without you,
Watkins,
Matt.
if you're in 3K, is a absolute lock, by the
Yeah,
way.
you should
Like,
bring him and captain
he's
him. Yeah.
just a shield, if anything. Even if you don't captain him, like, you need to get him.
Stracks.
Yo, do you know what's just made me laugh? Benji makes valid points, right? Maybe he's looking at Aston Villa, right? And he's saying they shut up shop, right? But if he's saying that about Aston Villa, have you not watched Chelsea play? When was the last time Chelsea scored 3 goals in the Premier League?
a narrative, bro.
Mm.
They all want to build a narrative, bro. Kanji's saying Palmer's gonna score
I
all
don't,
three
I,
goals.
I don't get
So
it. I don't get it. If you're gonna
yeah,
say that, when was the last time Chelsea honestly was against Liverpool 3-1 with a 90th minute penalty, right? Other than that,
versus yeah.
1-0 Everton, 2-1
Wow,
Fulham,
what a way
2-2
to belittle
Ipswich.
his performance against Liverpool. Wow. See, I understand
I'm
that
Matt,
not
though. That's how
belittling
people
it.
will think.
I'm
Matt,
not
I would
belittling
say
it, bro.
I'd say Matt. I would probably do the both moves, yes. But I do think what Evan Nelson is really really important in game week 38. So I know you're getting Semenyo, which is good. To be
Bournemouth
honest, it's good.
asset.
Yeah, I'll do those two
A
moves though, Matt,
Bournemouth asset, yeah.
just to get the Watkins in this week. How about Vardy cap chasing 5K rank? You're not chasing if you're rank 5K, mate. Like I don't know, mate. I don't
Yo,
know about
Vardy
that one.
cap at 5K.
Yeah, that's a
Ah,
bit
bro.
crazy. I'll stick with Watkins, mate. But if you're really feeling it and your gut says so, do it. Follow your gut always, mate.
Watkins is clear of Vardy.
I know,
Like,
but
come on, bro.
yeah. I just want to let him know. If I were
Like,
you, I
he
would captain
doesn't.
Watkins.
Who would you captain if you didn't own Watkins or Palmer? Like, where would you go?
If I didn't have Watkins or Palmer, I'd probably go to depends. If I'll probably go Mbimo. I'll probably go Saka.
And you're just avoiding Salah at all costs, eh?
No,
Mm.
they're on the beach. Like, have you not seen the videos, bro?
Yeah, I have. I have. You know, he's only chasing the all-time goal assist record, though. You know.
Yeah, he's been chasing it for a while, Kanji, and he's also been blanking for a while too. Yeah,
Savage, bro.
yeah, bro. You got
He's gonna
Richie.
break it. He's gonna break it.
Guys, just throw in your questions.
I've noticed a
Yeah.
I've noticed a trend about Salah. In
Hmm.
2025, he has fallen off dramatically open play goals and assists. And I feel like Trent's minutes have been significantly on the download, have been decreasing. So
Yeah.
we've seen Trent's minutes decrease and Salah's output also decrease. Do you think that's a trend that we'll
Mm.
see next season?
Mm. I agree, bro.
Um, it's hard to say because stock depends on the dynamics with the new signing that they're bringing in Frimpong, right? So it depends on that dynamic. How much does he really enhance Salah, or does it really affect him or not? But we've always seen this with Salah. Whenever he gets a contract, he starts to drop off form. And I've said this, like I've been waiting the whole year when he's gonna get the contract, when he's gonna get the contract. And I knew, it's not like a fallacy or any sort of like a conspiracy theory. It's just something that has happened over the years. Many times, whenever he's playing for contract, he goes crazy. And the minute he gets contract, he's just much more comfortable to cruise control, right? So he's on a cruise control right now, and it seems like as much as he wants to go for the record, I don't know, it's just not falling for him. Is either unlucky or it's just not falling right now, mate. Um,
Yeah. Wait,
I just
Kayman,
want.
before we end the stream, I want to ask you one question. Like, you have arguably your most important game, like Chelsea aside, you've got the Spurs game before we record the next pod. How do
Mhm.
you feel going into that game? Are you excited? Are you nervous?
No, I'm not nervous. I think I'm very confident that inshallah we're gonna win versus Spurs.
Yeah, you're saying it
Yeah,
with your chest too. You really
yeah,
believe.
absolutely, yeah. Hi guys, I have Isak Wood and Wissa. Also have KDB, Salah, Rogers, and Mbimo. One for the back chasing to get top 50K, 9 points behind. Who do you suggest me to sell Isak to Watkins? Yeah, probably, mate. Yes, Isak to Watkins. I think your other strikers are Wissa and Wood. Yeah, I'll keep Wissa and Wood and get Watkins for Isak. Yes, but if you have 3.8 million in the bank, you can go Wood to his finger as well. But I think Wood is a keep. Yeah. What do you guys think of that question from Ricky? Rich.
Bro, I
He's got
would
3.8
sell
million in the bank.
Wood
Okay.
to Watkins. And then if you don't have Palmer, Captain Watkins.
Yeah, I would do Isak to Watkins and
Why?
Kanji would do Wood to Watkins. Fair enough. All right.
Skip. Mm, man, I'd probably lean towards selling Isak to Watkins if I'd Wood, because I'd want Wood for the West Ham game, but against Chelsea, I don't know. Like, I'd want Isak for Everton at home, and like over
Yeah,
Wood against Chelsea.
exactly. No. It's Wood versus West Ham versus Isak versus Everton. Who would you
Yeah,
rather have?
I'm picking Wood as I already
Isak,
said that.
I'm picking
Isak
Isak.
every
That's
day,
why
bro.
I'm
So you
Isak
got the two
every single
answers, three
day.
answers,
back.
Ricky. They picked Isak. I picked Wood. Whistle to even also next week and maybe -4 to get Isaka too. Yeah, probably, mate. Especially if you're gonna captain him in 38. Matt says yeah, time to cook. Indeed, bro. Make sure to leave a like and comment and subscribe, boys. Appreciate it. So Harlan captain is a differential. I
100%,
would
man.
not do that, mate. He's a bum. He's blanking for Southampton. I would not do it. Eze Olanga, Flecken or sells. Sells and Eze Olanga will be Elanga. I'd say Eze, bro. I think probably Eze. Palmer versus Watkins. Watch
Mm.
along. Maybe.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, that'd
maybe.
be
Yeah.
crazy on Friday. Yeah.
I don't know
Yo,
when the deadline is. I
hey
might
man,
do it. I don't know.
how far are you from the top like 1K? Like to have
I
a
don't know.
three-digit rank, how many points is it?
I don't even know, mate. I'm not sure.
Can you take a look? I'm curious to see, even like Stark, I know you're 150K. I'm curious to see how many points it is from top 100K.
I don't know. I don't know how to check
Don't know,
that,
bro.
mate. Yeah.
Assuming it's
But I
like
think we
10
should.
points, maybe.
I think we should wrap up though. Not gonna
Yeah.
lie.
Yeah. All right, boys. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next week. And all the best of luck to you guys. Anything else to say, Kanji and stuff?
No, we are good. Thanks for the pod, boys. Appreciate the time.
Peace out.
Adil, you better be there tomorrow for this Chelsea United game. All the shit you chat, you better be there when we pump you.
Bro,
Hold that.
we don't care about that game, bro. We'll gift you that game. Charity, bro. Don't worry. Charity. We'll give you charity. Don't worry. Because of Enzo, we'll give you that charity, bro. Yes, there will be a watch along most likely, Shax. I'm just not 100% sure though. Yeah, I don't know about my availability tomorrow.